Everyone thought I did it. Even she looked me in the eyes and swore she believed I was guilty. But when her phone synced to my cloud by mistake, I discovered the truth she never meant for anyone to see. For the longest time, I thought I had it all figured out. A stable job in IT, a quiet apartment I could call my own, and most importantly, a girlfriend who made life feel lighter. Sophia. We met through a mutual friend at a housewarming party, and from the moment she laughed at one of my corny tech jokes, I was hooked. Sophia was charming, beautiful, and disarmingly attentive. She remembered little things, my favorite coffee order, how I always tapped my foot when I was deep in thought. She made me feel seen. I'd never had that before. I'd spent most of my life behind screens, fixing other people's problems, barely speaking unless it was through a keyboard, but she brought me out of that shell. We moved in together after 8 months. Fast, maybe, but it felt right. I'd come home to find dinner waiting, or she'd leave sticky notes on the fridge with sweet little messages. Don't forget your lunch, proud of you, red hearts, small things, but they added up. It wasn't perfect, of course. Nobody's life is. Sometimes she'd get a little too curious about my work or ask questions that felt oddly specific, like which cloud backup I used for my devices or how long my office's security cameras stored footage. At the time, I brushed it off as playful interest. She said she liked hearing about my world, even if she didn't understand all of it. Looking back, I wish I'd paid more attention to those little moments. There was one evening I can't shake from my memory. I came home late from a client call and saw her quickly close her laptop. She smiled too fast, said she was just shopping online. I believed her. I trusted her. That was the last time my life felt normal. The last night I slept without doubt clawing at my mind. Because just days later, everything would fall apart. And Sophia, the girl I thought loved me, would become the reason the world turned against me. It started with a knock. Not the kind you ignore, the kind that carries weight, sharp, demanding, cold. 2 officers stood at my door, one with a clipboard, the other with eyes that scanned every corner of the hallway behind me. They asked my name. I nodded, still half asleep. Then they asked me to come with them. At first, I thought it had to be a mistake. Maybe someone used my ID, maybe it was identity theft. I tried to ask questions, but all they said was, "You'll have the chance to speak. Right now, we just need you to cooperate." The charge, fraud, grand larceny through digital access. Someone had rerouted thousands of dollars through a hacked corporate system, and the trace led straight back to my laptop. I laughed. It was nervous, cracked, barely human. You think I did that? The evidence was damning. Login credentials, IP addresses, transaction records, all pointing to me. They had screenshots from my own devices, timestamps that matched my work hours, even files found in my cloud storage. And Sophia, she was there. She came to the station later that day, eyes wide, voice shaking. She said she couldn't believe it, that she hoped it wasn't true. But the way she avoided looking me in the eye, the way she talked to the officers like she was afraid of me, it tore something in me I didn't know could break. I was released on bail, but my job didn't wait. Suspended pending investigation. My name trended online for all the wrong reasons. Clients I had worked with for years dropped me without hesitation. My inbox filled with angry messages. Friends stopped replying. Sophia stayed at a friend's place for a few days. Said she needed space. I didn't even fight it. I was too busy trying to piece together how my life had exploded in a single day. Somewhere deep inside, a small voice whispered something I wasn't ready to hear yet. That this wasn't random. That maybe, just maybe, someone had planned this. And the first person I should have been able to trust might be the one who started it all. I thought hitting rock bottom would feel loud, like crashing through a dozen floors all at once. But it didn't. It was quiet, heavy, like sinking. Each day blurred into the next. I woke up with my heart racing and went to bed feeling hollow. I stopped checking my phone because all I ever saw were headlines, accusations, and silence from people who once said they cared. Sophia didn't call, not once. I texted her, apologizing for the mess, asking if she was okay, telling her I missed her. Nothing, just a single scene under my last message. That silence cut deeper than the rest. One afternoon, I dragged myself to a cafe just to feel normal for a second. I heard 2 people whispering at the next table. One of them mentioned my name. I froze. They were reading the article about me on their phones, laughing, saying I didn't look like a criminal, but those types never do. I left without finishing my coffee. The worst part, A tiny part of me started to question myself. I knew I didn't do it, but the evidence was so perfectly lined up. What if I'd been hacked? What if I'd somehow made a mistake, opened the wrong file, clicked a bad link? But then I remembered something. Sophia once asked me, casually over dinner, how often I changed my work passwords. She made a joke about using my birthday as a PIN code. I'd brushed it off. But now I wasn't so sure. I spent that night staring at the ceiling, her words echoing like a riddle I hadn't solved in time. My mind started replaying moments I hadn't thought twice about before, questions she asked, the way she always wanted to borrow my laptop, the fact that she insisted we sync our devices, just in case. In case of what? I didn't have answers, just a storm of doubt, betrayal, and something new rising beneath the surface, suspicion. And it was right then, as I lay in that cold, sleepless room, that my phone buzzed beside me. A notification from my cloud account. New device synced, Sophia S. iPhone. At first, I thought I read it wrong. I sat up in bed, blinking at the screen. New device synced, Sophia S. iPhone. My heart started pounding in my chest. I hadn't seen her in days. She hadn't touched my phone or logged into anything of mine, at least not recently. So how? I opened my cloud drive. Everything looked the same at first. My usual folders, backups, some project files, old photos, but a new folder had appeared. Automatically created. It had her name on it. I hesitated, thumb hovering over the screen, my stomach twisted. There was a line I was about to cross, but something inside me had already snapped. She left me to drown. She let the world believe I was guilty. If there was even the slightest chance that this could explain how or why, I had to know. I tapped the folder. It was filled with images, documents, voice memos. Some of it looked harmless, selfies, shopping lists, screenshots of memes. But then I saw it. A photo of a login screen from my company's internal portal. My username was clearly visible. The date, 2 days before the fraud took place. Another file, a voice memo, barely 12 seconds long. I played it. Her voice calm, almost amused. He won't suspect anything. I've seen him type that password a dozen times, and once the transfer's done, I'll just ghost him, let the system eat him alive. I dropped the phone. It felt like I'd been punched in the chest. My breath caught. My mind couldn't keep up with what I was hearing. The woman I loved, who left me notes on the fridge and smiled like I was her whole world, had framed me. On purpose. I sat there in the dark, shaking, replaying the audio again and again, hoping it would change. Hoping it was some deepfake, some twisted joke. But it was. It was real. And I wasn't just a victim anymore. I was a witness to the truth. Whatever fog had been clouding my mind was gone now. I knew what I had to do. The more I looked, the worse it got. That folder wasn't just a mistake. It was a confession, one bit at a time. It was like Sophia had been cataloging her betrayal without even realizing it. Maybe she assumed I'd never see it. Maybe she forgot her phone had once been linked to my cloud, back when we shared everything, photos, playlists, even grocery lists. Now that old sync was saving my life. I found a series of screenshots, chats between her and someone named D. The tone was flirty but strategic. In one message, she wrote, "Once his login is in, we pull the transfer. He takes the hit, no trace to us." In another, "He's too trusting. I almost feel bad, almost." Almost. I copied everything. Every message, every photo, every voice note. I backed it up to an encrypted drive, then again to a secure server a friend in cybersecurity had helped me set up long ago for emergencies. I didn't know what I'd do with it yet, but I knew I couldn't keep it to myself. Every file was a match to the evidence the police had used against me. The same IP logs, the same credentials, the same access times. Only now I had the missing pieces, the conversations that proved I hadn't acted alone. That I hadn't acted at all. I stayed up all night building a timeline, laying it out. Every move she made, every lie she told matched perfectly to the things that had destroyed my life. Her plan wasn't just to leave me. It was to bury me so deeply in guilt and shame that I wouldn't even have the energy to fight back. But now I had something stronger than anger. I had proof. For the first time since that knock on my door, I felt something shift inside me, a flicker of control, the faintest sense of power. I wasn't lost anymore, I was preparing. And soon, she'd know exactly how it felt to watch your world fall apart. I didn't rush. It was tempting to blow everything wide open the moment I had the evidence. To call the police, confront her, maybe even post everything online. But something told me to wait. I wanted her to feel safe a little longer, comfortable. I wanted her to keep underestimating me like she always had. So I stayed quiet. To the world, I was still broken. The headlines hadn't changed. My job was still gone, my reputation still trashed, and I played the part well. No posts, no angry rants, no suspicious moves, just silence. But behind that silence, I was building. I created a detailed report, files, dates, voice memos, chat screenshots. I contacted a lawyer I knew through an old client, someone who specialized in tech-related cases. He agreed to meet, and after just 10 minutes of reviewing what I had, his expression changed from skeptical to stunned. "You don't just have a case," he said. "You have a weapon." Still, I hesitated. What scared me wasn't whether I could clear my name. It was what it would turn me into. I wasn't the kind of guy who held grudges or chased revenge. I'd always believed people made mistakes, and deep down, I wanted to believe Sophia did too. But this wasn't a mistake. It was a choice, a plan executed perfectly without remorse. She had smiled in my face while digging a grave for me. That thought brought me clarity. So I set a date, 1 week from now. I'd gather everyone who mattered, the friends who ghosted me, the people who doubted me, maybe even a few who enjoyed watching me fall. I'd give them all front row seats. I didn't want to hurt her. I just wanted the truth to speak louder than her lies. Let her feel the weight of what she did, not from my words, but from her own. And when the moment came, I wouldn't raise my voice or shed a tear. I'd just press play. The day I dropped the truth, the sky was overcast, fitting, like even the weather was holding its breath. I booked a quiet room in a co-working space downtown, not a flashy place, just clean and private. I sent out a dozen invites the night before, some friends, a few former coworkers, even one of the officers who'd handled my case. No explanations, just a message. If you want to know the truth about what really happened, be here at noon. Most ignored it, but a few showed up. Sophia didn't. I hadn't invited her, not yet. I stood in front of them, hands trembling slightly, a laptop hooked up to a projector. I started slow, just enough to stir doubt. A message she'd sent about my password, a screen recording showing her IP logging into my work portal. You could feel the air shift in the room. Eyes widened, someone cursed under their breath. Then I played the voice memo. "He won't suspect anything. Let the system eat him alive." Silence. I let it hang there for a moment, then added. She framed me, all of it. The theft, the setup, everything you saw online, she made it happen. I handed out printed copies of the evidence packet. Dates, log files, screenshots. One by one, I watched people's faces turn from doubt to shock to something close to guilt. A friend who'd stopped answering my calls leaned forward and whispered, "I'm so sorry, man." And I believed him. The officer took the flash drive I offered without a word, but his nod told me everything. Things were about to move quickly now. The weight on my chest began to lift just a little. Later that night, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered. Her voice, "You really did it," Sophia said, not angry, not scared, just impressed. "You turned it around." I didn't reply, I just listened. "You're smarter than I thought," she added, "but you should have stayed quiet." Click. The call ended, the line went dead. And just like that, I knew this wasn't over. She wasn't done, but neither was I. I should have known Sophia wouldn't go quietly. The very next morning, my phone blew up. Emails, notifications, a fake social media account claiming I had doctored the voice memo. That I was the manipulator. That I framed her because she found out about some imaginary affair. She twisted the story like she'd rehearsed it. Even used screenshots from old arguments we had taken out of context to make me look unstable, desperate, dangerous. She'd always been good at wearing masks, but now she was using her charm as a weapon. The worst part, some people believed her. Comments poured in, some defending me, others tearing me apart. My inbox turned toxic again. A few of the people I'd just started to win back messaged to say they were confused now, that maybe we both had skeletons. It stung deep. But this time I didn't crumble. Instead, I responded with silence and strategy. I sent the updated evidence packet to the detective handling the fraud case, including a timestamped copy of Sophia's fake posts traced through her IP address. I even included metadata from her synced photos, proving she had accessed the stolen company accounts from her own phone while I was logged out. It was meticulous, bulletproof. I wasn't playing defense anymore. The detective called me the following day. His voice was calm but firm. "We've reopened the case," he said, "and we'll be bringing her in for questioning. Your story checks out." I should have felt relieved, but all I felt was exhausted. Sophia hadn't just tried to ruin my name. She tried to erase who I was, twist it into something unrecognizable. And she was still fighting like she had something to lose. That meant one thing. She was scared now. I sat on my couch that night, the lights off, watching her public facade crack inch by inch. And for the first time in weeks, I wasn't drowning. I was climbing back up. She had tried to destroy me, but I was still here. They picked her up 2 days later. I didn't see it happen, but I heard about it almost immediately. Word spreads fast in a town that thrives on whispers. One of her friends posted something vague, "Can't believe what she did, thought I knew her." Another tagged her in an old photo and wrote, "Sometimes the people closest to you wear the best masks." Her silence said the rest. No angry tweets, no fake statements, no clever lies, just nothing. The same silence she left me in. I got the official update later that evening. The detective called to let me know Sophia had been detained. They'd matched her device data to the breach. The voice memo and chat logs sealed it. The cloud sync, the same mistake she made out of arrogance, was the nail in her coffin. "She's lawyered up," he said, "but we've got her dead to rights." I hung up and just sat there. No cheering, no victory dance, just quiet. Her world was unraveling. Her employer cut ties. People who once praised her turned away. Her curated image, the perfect girlfriend with the perfect smile, shattered like glass. She had built her life on manipulation, and now, without control, she had nothing. But me, I had something again. Not just my name back, not just the truth. I had peace. Friends started reaching out again. A few apologized sincerely. Others awkwardly tried to pretend like they hadn't ghosted me. I didn't respond to everyone. I wasn't angry, I'd just grown past the need for their approval. That storm Sophia created, it cleared out the noise. Left behind only the solid parts of me I hadn't seen in a long time. And one night I looked at that old folder in my cloud account, the one that started it all. I stared at it for a long time, then I did something I hadn't been able to do before. I deleted it. Gone, just like her power over me. Her world had collapsed. But mine was just beginning to rebuild. Rebuilding didn't happen overnight. Clearing my name was just the first step. The scars Sophia left on my career, my trust, my sense of self, they didn't fade quickly, but they became a part of me, not as wounds anymore, but as reminders. I got a job offer a few weeks after her arrest. Not in my old company, they still wouldn't touch me, but from a smaller firm run by someone who had quietly followed my story. He said, "You kept your head when most would have burned everything down. That tells me all I need to know." I took the job. The work wasn't glamorous, but it was honest. I walked into that office each day with my chin a little higher. I didn't feel like a victim anymore. I felt like a survivor, someone who didn't just endure the storm, but learned how to walk through it without drowning. I stopped checking on Sophia. Her name popped up now and then, hearing she took a plea deal, that she might serve time, that her reputation in our industry was beyond repair. But none of it gave me satisfaction. I wasn't living to watch her fall. I was living to rise. Therapy helped, so did journaling, so did long walks and longer silences. I stopped second-guessing every kind gesture, stopped flinching at people's trust. Slowly, I let the right ones back in. One evening, I was walking home when I passed by the cafe where I first heard those strangers laughing at my name. I stopped outside, watched people chatting inside, carefree, unaware of what I'd gone through. And I smiled, because none of that mattered anymore. My story had changed, not because she ruined it, but because I rewrote the ending. Now I live differently. No more blind trust. No more bending backward for people who don't deserve it. My circle is smaller. My peace is bigger. She tried to frame me, tried to end me. But in the end, her phone synced to my cloud, and the truth did what lies never could. It set me free,